things change for me in my life, I've realized more than anything that the reason why I'm doing and living the way I'm living right now, such as breaking free, freeing my life force energy, is because I've realized that I've been living in a loop. This is why patterns are important to realize in your life, and it can be hurtful. Every year I remember I would pay my credit card off. They would raise the limit and give me more money. I would feel so solistically exhausted from work that I would take like 2, 3, sometimes 4 months off at a time. Just me being a single guy, I would have the money to just pay my rent and be like, yeah, I'll find a new job in like 4 months. I'm only really keeping a job for like a year. Lately it's been less, 7 months. But I would always pay it off. You know, for the past 6, 7, 8, 9 years, I would always pay this off. I would always just go back to work, not have much while I'm at work, because I'm paying off this large credit card debt that I used since I took time off. So I would pay it off and I would feel all good, and I'd be like, I'm never using this again. I'm never using this credit card again. Like, after I pay this off, I'm good. But the more conscious I became as the cycle continued, as I took more time off, each time you find yourself giving yourself idle time, time to relax, time to restore your being, then you're raising your levels of consciousness. So it became harder and harder to stay at work. It becomes harder and harder to really play the game that, you know, the world is wanting you to play, when you can see every way that it's manipulating you, your life force energy. So I find myself in these loops, going to shitty jobs, just paying off this credit card debt. At one time I had a job at a call center, just calls coming in all day, like you have to sell, they're pressuring you to sell. It's just, you're in a cubicle. It's really, really weird, the situations that you put yourself in for money. It's really, really weird how you don't notice that I wouldn't say wasted, because the time in between, I would never take back the time that I took off, but now I'm looking at 5, 6, 7, 8 years of just doing the same thing, like paying this credit card off, taking time to myself, to grow myself, to follow my passions, do art, do music, but it's gotten me nowhere. It's gotten me leaps and bounds within myself, within my own consciousness. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But in the physical world, me partnering with work and doing this in the credit card and surviving off of this way, debt is multidimensional slavery. It's super toxic. I realized that I'm in a loop. It's like, what loop are you in? That's what this video is about, to help people question the loop that they're in. Now, I'm to a point to where I have my passport. You know, bills are getting high. You know, it's been a long time since I've worked. I have a couple options. I could stay here, work, do it all again. Promise myself that, you know, I won't get into any more debt, and that once I paid it off, that this time it will be different. But every time I pay it off, I feel so tired and exhausted from not even having any money left over that I just use it again. Like, what kind of life is that? So I'm realizing a loop that is easy to get tied into. Like, and you could spend 3, 4, 5 years. You don't want to wait. You don't want to wait to fail. You don't want to wait to take a risk on yourself. You don't want to wait another year to pay another however many thousand to the credit card. Like, there are times where nothing is going to make sense to you. And it's the opposite of what you learned. It's the opposite of blind faith. It's knowing in your consciousness that nothing in this reality can break or control you. And everything that seems like an obstacle to you now has to become a mode of flow state that you enter in order to continue living. In order to continue living simply in a high vibrational form within your bandwidth of consciousness, landing you on a unique frequency. If you notice yourself in a loop, the sooner the better. That's what I'll say. The sooner the better. Because the longer you tread through this loop unconsciously, you're like, why am I doing this? Why am I, continue to go into debt and then feel like really bad, and then all I'm able to do for the next 7-8 months is just pay it off and pay my rent. Like, what am I really doing with my life? So I'm at a situation where it's not ideal for me financially. I'm just going to keep it 100. It's not ideal for me financially to take the certain risks that I plan to take. Plan to move to another country, break the loop. Not to give up on society, but to say, hey, like, once a person has tried, at a certain point it's abuse, and this thing that's happening, this loop that I'm in, is wrong. It's not that I'm my ego wants to tell me like I'm some type of criminal, or like I'm not about to pay this and I'm about to just skip country and like I'm just running away from shit, but nah. You have to reach a level of not giving a fuck. You have to reach a level to say, no matter what I see in this outside world, in this outside reality, that I cannot be controlled, I cannot be broken. You'll have to begin to operate on frequencies that are beyond your own comprehension. Like, beyond what you think, especially beyond what you think is good or evil. Like, you are too damn conscious for that. You know what is evil and what is not evil. What's evil is multidimensional slavery through the form of debt. What would be evil is restricting someone, from entering places on this earth. So it's like, yeah. There's a whole lot of things that could go wrong. There's a whole lot of things that I don't even have planned. I'm just prepared to enjoy myself. Because, let's be real, guys, life could be over tomorrow. Like, you do all this suffering in, what's his name? This is a prison called Life. What is his name? Dedemeth. He's like, yeah, you do all this suffering and it could end at any moment. Like, let's be real. So you have to do your best to live your life. You have to do your best to unwind and relax. Are you sure about what this is? About what this reality is? Like, are you for sure that we're not in a dream? It's always going to be healthy to look at life as a dream. Because you find yourself doing things that you think were real and that you think really mattered. But you know deep down that you're suffering for no reason in the dream. So you have to look for answers. Like, although it is just a dream, you'll still, while you are aware in the dream, you'll still want to search for answers. To be like, hey, how can we make this thing better? The answer is that you don't do the things that you don't want to do. Like, your life and the reason you are where you are right now is based upon your agreements and what you agree to. So it's like, look at the people who are like hippie-ish and or maybe do music, or they're free. They're not. I mean, if some of them are being controlled, but some of these people are really, really free. Like, they don't live by the same rules that you live by. They don't go to work. They just don't. And at some point in your life, in your conscious growth, you'll have to just say, I just don't do that. It becomes less and less about what you do and more about what you don't do. So we've had it backwards. What if we're looking at fear the wrong way? Like, right now, if I imagine fear, like in my previous understanding, I imagine it as chaotic and there's like dark monsters. That's what happens when I fear something on the inside. It's like chaos. It's like fear, real. Everything's heightening. But what if we're just looking at fear the wrong way? What if we're saying like, hey, what if instead we stopped and looked at all the madness, the fear, and said that's the way to go? See, what they're not telling you is that a drug is released in the brain naturally called DMT when consciousness creates tension. And it doesn't just do it when you're in a near-death experience or when you're in cardiac arrest and you have an outer-body experience. It does it during ego death, more so than ever. Like, within your soul, you can see what's really going on. Like, people would love to say that people are tripping while on LSD, yeah? But what if they're just seeing the truth for a moment? Like, when they're hallucinating, what if they're just seeing the truth, yeah? So, it's like we've all been looking at life completely backwards in this experience or this experiment. See, anything that is an experiment is just for fun anyways. Like, it's for no reason other than like statistical purposes or like just to see what happens, or curiosity. So the experiment with life force energy would be the same one a scientist would place on an ecological system. Like, we'll place this spider here, this caterpillar here, these plants here, and we'll see what emerges from this ecosystem. In the billions, in the trillions, complex emergence. Let's see how we can keep the most conscious beings in this ecosystem confused and unable to simplify these complex emergence back to source, back to the original experiment. Let's see if these more conscious beings can figure out the ones and zeros. Why is there only 1% of them who seem to be very, very conscious? Why does everybody else seem to be in loops while only, around 1% of human beings are actually tripping latent forces in their subconscious mind, maintaining individual thought patterns within the ecological system? Like, why is there only 1% of beings actually expanding consciousness? Why is there only 1% of beings who are actually taking that risk? I guess that's why the masses unconsciousness didn't just appear. It emerged from low vibration manipulation. So to be very, very intelligent or very, very conscious, you are actually able to manipulate another being who is less conscious than you are. There are worlds that you haven't explored yet. There are many, many realms in the subconscious mind that you have not explored yet or even began to delve into. You must really be living off of pure imagination. Like, we laughed at the hippies. And we're like, yeah, like, they're shitting around, but no, but they have a whole different life right now. We laughed at village people, but they have the true desirable life right now. A life of simplicity. The only way you're going to activate these latent forces is to manipulate your energy in a high vibrational fashion. The only way you're going to activate these forces is to free your life force energy and to see first how it is being manipulated. See, don't rush your moves. You're playing chess, not checkers. I think his name was Terrence that said that. It could take you years to make some moves. It can take you years to take certain risks. But it all starts with what you're agreeing to. So continue to notice the tape recorder, the patterns that are playing out in your life, the tape recorder that's playing in your mind, telling you things. I love you. Continue to free your life force energy.